name is Varun and I'm community growth marketer at Ampliz and the host for the startup show, which has been presented by Ampliz. And today we are going to have a podcast series, and this is going to be the special edition which we'll be doing from the last 1 to 2 weeks, and it's the Web Summit Lisbon edition. So here we have a very special guest. His name is Antoine Dumas Martin. So he is the chief sales marketing head of Chandago, and here for a discussion of his experience at the Web Summit Portugal. So he's joining this podcast right now. Thank
Hello.
you, Antoine, for joining this podcast. How are you?
I'm pretty good, and you?
I'm doing great. It's my honor to host you on this podcast series.
It's an honor to be here too.
Thank you so much. So let's directly dive into the conversation, because I'm really curious to understand how was your experience at the Web Summit 2019, which was being hosted in Lisbon. So would you like to share the experience?
Sure. It was our second time as a company, but it was my first as an employee of Chandago, because I joined the company like only 3 months ago. So It was my first Web Summit experience, but it was like mind blowing, really. Okay. This is a business war machine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how was the interaction in the Web Summit? Like it was a big crowd, I believe, like more than 3,000 plus. So how was your product pitch? How was the product demo? How was the interaction? Were you all prepared, or?
Yeah, like there were maybe like 3,000 people in each hall every single hour. I mean, like, I don't know how many people there was at our stand, but like the entire event is like 75,000 people in 3 days, which is like mind blowing. Man, it was cool. It was cool. I had like hundreds of leads. I got to pitch our company and our main product, App Consent, to other startups and a broad audience of entrepreneurs. So it was kind of cool. Yeah.
Okay. So you got so what basically is Chandago, and how it works, and would you like to share it?
Sure. Well, in a nutshell, Chandago stands for Change Data Governance, and our main job is to help European and American publishers and editors comply with privacy regulations, like GDPR or CCPA, and maintain or increase their advertising revenues.
So basically, for the GDPR for two different countries. So what kind of, is it a SaaS-based product, or is it just completely a service-based model?
Sure. It's a SaaS product. It's a blockchain-based consent management platform. So, this consent banner you see on a lot of websites like Le Figaro, for instance, to collect the user's consent for the deposit of cookies. We do that. So our main product is called App Consent. So it's that premium blockchain-based consent management platform. And we have a second product, which is called, it's the same product with just an add-on. It's called App Consent Exchange. And so so for European editors willing to subscribe to App Consent Exchange, we provide them with that blockchain-based CMP plus a module to monetize their data. So yeah. So GDPR compliance becomes easy and profitable in a nutshell.
And that's why targeting that part of the industry.
Yeah.
That's great. So what is the story behind Chandago? And it's a very different name, to be very honest. Why Chandago, and what was the story behind it?
Well, the story started a couple years ago with our two co-founders, Emmanuel and Bruno. Both are from the data brokerage industry, and they felt that we needed to move more towards a user-centric ad tech model. So like they felt that it would be much more virtuous, not only for users, but also for ad tech companies, to adopt a user-centric approach. So changing data governance is prior to GDPR. For them, like the concept is like 4.5 years ago.
Okay.
years old. Sorry.
4.5 years ago.
Yeah, like the company started officially like in August 2017,
Uh-huh.
but the entire concept and the vision is like
Yes.
2015 or so.
Okay, got it, got it, understood.
Yeah.
So, what stage is Chandago right now, and what are the plans ahead you're looking for?
Sure. Well, the stage, you mean regarding the number of employees we have
Yes,
or number of clients or,
yes.
well, just to give you a few metrics, we raised 4 million euro round like a year and a half ago or so.
Okay,
Yeah, 4 million round, like totals, like we have a 4.5 million euro funding.
okay,
We are roughly, if I recall correctly, like 22, 23, I
okay.
believe. And today we manage 2 billion consents a month.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
that's big.
I mean, yeah, we don't have a lot of clients,
Okay,
but our clients are like large European media groups. So
okay.
that's a lot of traffic. That's a
So that's
lot
why
of traffic.
2 billion.
Yeah, 2 billion consents managed a month.
So what are
Yeah.
the sales strategies, or what are the customer acquisition strategies you are working on, and how would you like to break it down?
Well, we put a lot of effort since the past few months to simplify the message and simplify the offer because like even now it sounds complicated, but like 6 months ago it was like over the top complicated. And
Okay,
so we are streamlining our offer, our products as well, and to address mainly like two issues for publishers: comply with privacy regulations
okay,
and monetize data. And
okay,
that's basically our two core value propositions.
okay,
And so yeah, we're just basically doing aggressive business development,
okay.
calling editors, going in meetings, pitch,
So what's
like
your elevator?
classic.
What would be a quick question? What is your elevator pitch for Chandago?
You wanted me to do it now?
Sure. You're very much prepared, because let's see how you can convince me of Chandago.
Well, are you a user, a publisher, or a data buyer?
So what will be your top three users for this product? Who will be your top three product users?
Well, like for me, like the main target is the publishers
Okay.
themselves. So like it can be large media groups, but it can be like a blogger,
Okay.
or it can be
Media tech companies.
yeah, like it can be like basically any company that uses the web or a mobile app to provide a service. So it's pretty much like
Pretty
everyone.
much. Pretty much. Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much everyone. That's for the seller part, and for the buyer part, it's mainly brands
Okay.
or advertisers
Okay.
like Publicis or yeah. And like the hard thing with our product and our main
Uh-huh.
value proposition, it's like it's kind of tricky, to talk about data monetization, especially when you're also like working at putting much more emphasis on data protection. So
Okay.
it's like two concepts may sound opposite, but at the end of the day, it's all about the user and its ability to have access to free content on the internet.
Okay.
And that content has to be financed
Yeah.
somehow. And I can 95 or something percent, it's advertising. And to avoid having impertinent advertising, we need data to know like what message to address to a person. So there's a lot of education to be done, not only to publishers but to users themselves.
Okay.
If we want not to have an internet which is only accessible for the rich.
Okay.
So it's complicated. Like depending on the target, depending on like the elevator pitch will change. So this is why like I wasn't prepared for that. So
I understand because
uh,
to understand it, simplify it. That's why I wanted to, just
sure,
wanted to ask you. I'm so really
sure.
so for
No,
that.
no, it's all right, man. Just because like if I do the
Because
user if I do the user side elevator pitch like as an advertiser or as a publisher, it'd be like, what are you talking about?
exactly.
So yeah,
From my end, I actually want to break it down and understand what is actually
sure,
because,
sure.
and still I am to be very honest, I'm not pretty much clear like what part helps and how it helps the publisher or editor because it's about
Well, yeah. Well, the idea, well, how it works is pretty well. It's not simple, but it's understandable. So you go on a website.
okay.
We ask for your consent to drop cookies in your navigator to retarget you. Okay, so you give your consent. What we do basically is that we will hash the consent string. Okay, and the build ID of the notice you were exposed to. Okay, so we take those two elements, we hash them,
Okay.
and we engrave it into our blockchain.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so like it takes like I don't know 10 milliseconds to be done. Like it's a really fast blockchain.
Okay.
And so as a user, if ever you're like, dude, like I didn't give you consent, I didn't give my consent, blah blah blah, I'm gonna sue you for retargeting or something, the publisher can extract this information from the blockchain and mathematically prove that consent was given by the user with this specific notice shown at this very time. So all transactions are blockchained and stamped.
Yes.
So like the idea is using this blockchain immutability and transactional transparency to build trust between you as a user,
Yes.
publishers, and advertisers as well.
Okay.
And so what we will do, so this is just for the consent collection, okay, and distribution along the chain. And when we will help some publishers monetize data. So what will happen? For instance, if we just go back to the basics, like you download an application.
Okay.
Okay, you download the application, and the application asks you for to give your consent for geo-marketing purposes. So the application will geolocate you and retarget you with advertising depending on where you are. So you will give your consent. This consent plus build in the blockchain transferred. Okay, but now we are managing data as well. Okay. So we will take the consent string, the build ID, and your geolocation touchpoints.
Okay.
And it will be streamed from your app to the brand that has bought your geolocation touchpoint. So we won't collect it ourselves. We won't collect that data ourselves. We'll go directly from your phone to, let's say, Mercedes or BMW. Okay. Yeah. And the only things that will appear in the blockchain are those transactional footprints.
Okay.
So if ever anything goes wrong again, we can say, okay, Varun has given his consent at this very time to stream his data to BMW.
Okay.
Okay. And in 1% of cases, okay, we will push fake data into those pipelines. Okay. Okay. Yeah. And this data belongs to us. Okay. So the idea is to be able to flag a brand or anyone in the ad tech world that wouldn't respect the consent and the contract between users, publishers, and other people in the ad tech chain, basically.
Yeah.
So transactional footprints, blockchain for traceability and immutability, and also fake data inject in the pipelines to see if there's an actor that doesn't comply the rules that were given by the
third party
stakeholders. Yeah.
holders. Yeah. So
Is it clearer now?
yes. Now
Okay.
now I can think much more. It's very it's very in depth since it is blockchain and it's since into GDPR
Yeah.
and data privacy and all. I would like to go in depth because
Sure.
but I think right now time is also a big constraint for you as well as
Okay.
so we will definitely have a very in-depth conversation about this because I want to understand how it works in Europe because
Sure.
since after the GDPR, everything has changed a lot. And
It has.
Chandago is also, is focusing on that primarily and working. So my next question for you, what is the biggest challenge you're facing when you're working in Chandago?
Is stretching myself to become like 3 different persons at the same time because there's so much work to be done. Like marketing wise, product wise, sales wise, management wise. It's one hell of a challenge, but I'm happy to take it over.
Take it over. Great. And what is the biggest learning you had from your all the previous experiences?
The biggest learning. Oh, I'm a former headhunter,
Okay.
and I learned while working for this company. I learned how to make business
Okay.
and sell without ever even feeling I'm selling something.
Okay.
And it's all about understanding the needs of the person that's in front of you.
Okay.
And that's probably like, I think the best salesman is the one that speaks less.
Speak and do more.
Exactly. Like we say, we got 2 ears and only 1 mouth.
Yes.
So we should be listening twice
more.
as much as we're speaking. Yeah.
That's a very nice thought. It actually also really good. So moving on, next I want to just ask about what are the next plans for the next 6 months for Chandago?
We'll be launching a B2C mobile application.
Okay.
It should be launched during the Mobile World Congress in Barcelona.
Okay.
End of February. Yeah. So like we're really, really excited about that. And the idea basically behind this application is to give users a bit more control over their data.
Yes.
And be real stakeholders in the advertising world.
So what is the revenue model for Chandago right now?
Sorry?
The revenue model for Chandago right now.
Well, it's pretty simple. For our premium CMP, so App Consent Premium, it's a paid monthly fee depending on the traffic you have on your website or mobile applications. So pretty simple. There's like, I don't know, 20 different variables, but it's like from a couple of dollars to a couple of thousands, depending on your size and stuff. And for App Consent Exchange, so this CMP plus monetization pipeline, it's free and you get a revenue share on the data we're selling.
Okay.
So we sell like 99 App Consent Exchange for 1 App Consent Premium. Yeah.
You have to earn. That's it. And
makes sense.
Yes. It really makes sense.
It does. Yeah.
So so what are the best 3 advices from a perspective of yours? Like, since you are a chief sales of marketing, you have been worked with sales, marketing, and you're managing the team right now, a team of people. So for the young entrepreneurs across the world, what would be the best 3 advices you want to give them?
Never accept mediocrity.
Okay.
Especially from yourself.
Okay.
Always push the limits.
Okay.
Listen to others and yourself, and never give up.
That's a big motivation. Never give up.
Thanks.
So that was great advices for all the young entrepreneurs, and I think it's been very great. So this would be my probably the last question. Don't want to torture you.
Sure. No, it's all right, man.
It's like I don't want to sweat you. Like I feel like I'm asking you too many questions.
Sure, man. No. Don't worry.
So
I got time.
This is probably my last question for you for this
Yeah.
for the Web Summit edition. Okay, so
Yeah.
as I think I have a very different version of a different broadcasting series. So for this Web Summit series, I have a very simple, plain question for you. What is the being supercharged moment for you for 2019?
Oh man, there are so many supercharged moments.
Yeah, you can pick one or two.
Yeah, like my greatest supercharged moment was when I accepted this position.
Okay.
And I had very, very, very little time to learn about the industry and jump on the ring. So
Great.
yeah, it's probably my greatest achievement of the year.
And the greatest
by
learning
far.
for 2019? What did you learn?
The greatest low or
Learnings.
Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah. The greatest learning, I would say is it's Nike's motto. Just do it.
Does that?
Don't ask for permission. Just do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think you have all the permissions out there.
Yeah, I do.
It's great,
Yeah.
it's really great, Antoine, to have a very great conversation with you. So
It was great talking to you too.
Exactly. So, and I'm really happy. So let me tell you guys. So what happened? Our call was supposed to be on yesterday, and because of technical issues, we couldn't have a call. And he showed a courtesy to schedule time for me for today, and that was really great. And so this is Antoine Dumas Martin, who is the chief sales marketing. He's also into manager, everything. He's all in all for Chandago. Put it that way. So this was the Web Summit edition brought to you by the Startup Show, presented by Ampliz. And thank you so much, Antoine. And I'm expecting
Thanks to you.
I'm expecting for another podcast series with you, wherein I will be breaking down more about Chandago, and we'll be discussing about all the growth metrics, all about customer acquisition strategies, what were your sales strategies and all, and so that the audience, startup founders audience, other audiences can learn from how did you make your work like Chandago, how complicated thing is, and you explained it in a very beautiful way. At the end, I understood. Yes, I'm a very slow learner, so. But
no, man, it's a complicated topic. It's so complicated.
So we'll definitely have a big conversation. Maybe I think 45
Sure.
minutes.
Sorry?
45 minutes will be enough for a webinar.
Sure.
Yeah. So he's there. So he said, so I have a proof of recording right now. So he said, yes. So
that's cool, man.
Thank you so much, Antoine. So I wish you all the best for the upcoming milestones and the upcoming targets to meet up since it is end of December and you might have a lot of plans. So thank you once again for being.
Thanks, man. Thanks, Varun.
Thank you so much. So guys, until next time, so we'll be coming up with more episodes and more fun questions and activities like this. So see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.